From Idaho's News Channel 7, this is Friday Night Football.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome on into Friday Night Football, potentially our last Friday Night Football of the season. Tust alongside Brady, Frederick, and we have reached that point in time where it is win or go home. The playoffs have officially arrived here in the state of Idaho.
Yeah, you know, every home stadium we go to this season, there's always an incredible atmosphere, but it really elevates once we hit playoff time because every single play, there's high intensity from the players, the coaches, the crowd.
Yeah, potentially high school careers coming to an end. And I got to say, we have lucked out with the weather so far this year. Time to bundle up tonight, though. Hope you brought your blankets and your winter jackets to the stadiums tonight. To Nampa we go. The Bulldogs facing off against Mountain View. An interesting rematch from just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and the Mavericks entered this game on fire. Owen McBride chewing up some major yardage on the first kickoff of the game. He might have had some touchdown here if he hadn't slipped on the grass. It was a very slick night, but no worries. Dallin Van Giesen finishes up the Maverick drive with this rushing touchdown. They go up 7-0 over the Bulldogs early on. Now on the next Mavs possession, Colin Rogers takes it out of motion, takes the handoff, probably would have had the score here, but he runs into his teammate as they try to set up the block, but barely slowed him down on this one. Van Giesen once again finishing the drive for the Mavericks, falling into the end zone. They go up 14-0. The Bulldogs try to get something going. Brett Sund at quarterback, he fumbles on this one, and the Mavericks defense pounces on it. That's Bryce Mundy with the recovery. The Mavericks would go right after this one on the next score. Dawson Wall passes the ball deep downfield, hits Colin Rogers. Mavericks go up 21-0 after just a quarter of play at Nampa High School. Mountain View wins big on the road in this one, 44-0.
Up next, Rocky Mountain is the 3 seed at the state tournament, but they're ranked number 2 at the 5A classification. Yeah, it's safe to say they got the short end of the stick with the playoff format. The Grizz were giving Kuna the biz, though, on defense. In the first, Parker Weatherly gets the sack. Rocky would immediately go to work on offense on the ensuing possession. Future Idaho Vandal Art Williams bounces this thing outside. He picks up 13 yards on the counter. On the next play, check out Tegan Sweeney's eyes. He works his way all the way back to a wide open Seva Mironov for 6. They'd add the PAT to go up 15-0. The Cavemen would try to respond. Cole Lukengay gets some quality protection from his O-line. He finds Keyshawn Kelly to move the sticks on 4th and 5. Later on that same drive, here come the Grizz. Parker Weatherly is unblockable at the moment. He gets another sack. On to the second quarter. Gage Tanner absolutely lays the wood right there. Then on 3rd and long, Rowan Rupp leads the charge. They get to the quarterback yet again. Rocky would take over on offense. On the ensuing possession for the Grizz, Art Williams takes a number of Kuna defenders for a nice little ride down inside the red zone. It would eventually set up this. Sweeney would go up top to future Utah Ute tight end CJ Jacobson for the touchdown. Rocky Mountain absolutely rolls through the first round of the state playoffs. 51-10 the final. The Grizz were on a mission tonight.
Yeah, you know what? Rocky probably deserved the first round bye based on, what we've seen this season, but yeah, they came and delivered in the first round anyways.
The 2 best teams in the state, I'm still standing by it. Rocky Mountain and Meridian.
Hey,
not in that order.
Credit to Kuna as well, though. 1-8 last season, made playoffs this year, put a lot of great fights up. Really impressed with what they've been able to do, and hopefully they can continue to build on it for next season.
And a tip of the cap to Cole Lukengay. As you said, he was kind of the catalyst to help lead that charge. So he's a senior. He's got a younger brother coming up through the program. We'll see if he can fill the shoes of his big bro moving forward. All right, how about some 4A action for you? The 6th seed, Emmett, hosting the 11th seed in the Shelley Russets.
Yeah, the Russets get off to a hot start in this one. That's running back Riker Klinger peeling off, and he's got nothing but green grass ahead of him as he breaks into the end zone for Shelley's 2nd touchdown of the game. Now on the next drive, they would add a field goal, taking an early 17-0 lead as we come to the end of the first half. With 1 minute and 30 seconds, the Huskies have a shot to get on the board. Quarterback Dakota Perry scrambling out of the pocket, breaks a tackle there, loads up and lets it fly, but the wrong colored jersey wins the jump ball. That's Chase Ricks bringing down the interception, and with only about a minute to go to work, Shelley would capitalize at the goal line. Quarterback Kenyon Carter keeps it himself, bursting into the end zone to make this a 24-0 game. So the Huskies, they got a little bit of work to do in the second half, but they are not losing hope. Fans looking for a second half spark. Well, they would get out on the first drive of the third quarter. Rye Fullerton facing plenty of contact at the line of scrimmage, but he keeps on his feet, breaks away, and suddenly he's got some open space to work with. They finally bring him down deep into the enemy territory. At the red zone, a few plays later, they call his number again to finish off the drive. He hops over the goal line to get Emmett their first touchdown of the game. Now, the Emmett defense would get a stop. They go right back to work, but they have some trouble with the snap. Shelley recovers, and on the following play, they would go on to put the dagger on this one. Shelley is moving on. They beat Emmett 38-13.
All right, let's get on over to Bishop Kelly. Hey, I'm going to be honest with you, BK fans. These highlights, they're going to be incredibly disappointing. The good news, the Knights built a 56-0 halftime lead. The bad news, well, that is when I arrived at this game, since I went over to shoot another game prior to this one. So, with all of the starters on the sideline and a running clock for the entire second half, which I honestly don't know if I've ever seen at the 4A state playoffs, yeah, this is what I have for you. A botched snap right there, and Bishop Kelly makes the tackle on fourth down. That turns it over on downs. And then here is an impressive touchdown run by Benji Husky. Just unstoppable tonight, Brady. BK shuts out Canyon Ridge. 70-0. The final. The Knights just appear unstoppable at the 4A level. They are now a perfect 10-0 on the season.
Yeah, 70-0. You can't make a bigger statement than that. Well, a beautiful evening in Weezer as Timberlake rolls into town, taking on the defending 3A champion Wolverines. Nice that they started it a little early, so we still got sunlight on here. Wolverines with the long drive, and running back Brock Spencer caps off the touchdown early, and you can see the student section is going wild. They were electric all night for this one. Well, not to be outdone, Timberlake would answer right back. Running back Vaughn Higgins goes up and scores the touchdown as they go up 7-6 in this one. It was a huge playoff game in Weezer. Head coach Tom Harrison coaching up his team for the big game. They would rally right back. Quarterback Andrew Enders rolls left, finds running back Michael Youngberg all alone. He would take this one for the score. Our shot getting blocked by legendary Weezer photographer Bob Barber. He got the shot, so thank you to Bob. Tie game with less than 30 seconds before halftime. Quarterback Andrew Enders takes off, and he would go all the way to the end zone. A clutch run, giving the Wolverines a huge lead as they head into halftime. They would not look back in this one. Show you one more. Quarterback Andrew Enders had himself a day. Check out that Wolverines chair right there. That's
Man, he earned that.
Yeah, you earned that one. Weezer takes this one 34-27.
Oh, awesome stuff. Shout out to Bob. Shout out to John Mark also for making the trip out to Weezer to make sure to get us some high-quality highlights right there. I can't wait to get our Weezer chocolates at the Boise State game tomorrow, courtesy of Bob. Hey, let's check in on some more scores. Like I said, only a handful of games. We showed all the ones to you that were played locally in the Treasure Valley, but here we go. Owyhee had to go out on the road. They lost at Rigby. 49-14 the final. Skyview watches their season come to an end. They made the state playoffs despite only going 2-7, but Sandpoint hands them a 63-35 loss. Down in Burley, Twin Falls was able to come up with a victory there. Lewiston, your old stomping grounds there for a moment.
You know, they've been doing well getting into playoffs. Can't take that next step. Middleton wins 14-7 over them. New beat
beats the old beat. Minico beats Valley View in overtime. Fruitland outlasts Snake River 27-14 the final. Westside knocks off Coal Valley Christian 61-14. And how about a defensive battle between Buell and McCall Donley, 12-6 the final of that game. We do have a few more scores for you that we want to share with you throughout the state of Idaho. Cary, they are a juggernaut. They win 70-6 over Idaho City.
Cary jumped up a division too. They were 1A D2 last year. Now they're playing at 1A D1. Hasn't slowed them down at all, as you can see.
Apparently not. Hasn't slowed you down either there, Brady. Camas County beating Water Springs 66-32. I'm not going to lie, lived in the state for a decade. I don't know where Water Springs is. And finally, Garden Valley. I do know where that is. I also know where Lewis County is. 47-8 the final for you right there. And it looks like Danny, our producer, has already put together a few future matchups for you. Well, maybe we'll get to those in just a second, I think. But either way, a lot of these games are set now. We know what's going to happen. And oddly enough, I think we're actually going to have more games in the Valley next week because there's no buys. So I'll look forward to that one. This is what I'm talking about right now. We know that Rocky Mount has to go out on the road, play at Post Falls. Eagle and Rigby going to do battle. Meridian gets to host Middleton, so flop those ones for you. Mountain View, despite winning tonight, has to go out on the road. They will take on Highland. So we do have one 5A SIC matchup. Meridian getting a chance to host Middleton. The Warriors playing awfully well. A few 4A matchups for you. Bishop Kelly, Pocatello, they're gonna host Pocatello in that round. Skyline and Twin Falls going to do battle. Shelley looking for yet another upset, taking on Sandpoint and Minico. And Blackfoot playing in the 4A state playoffs. Gosh, I love the fact Danny quick on the draw, putting these together for us. How about Kendrick?
No, you know, I can talk about the Kendrick Tigers
right?
all day. They've been hanging hundreds on people this season.
Yeah, they're not in our area though, Brady. So
I'm still excited. Credit where it's due. You got to let me have a couple of them. They're going to be taking on Camas County. You also got Rockland taking on Dietrich. Council taking on Castleford. Ignore the D on that one. Just no D on there. And Mullen taking on Garden Valley.
Yeah, how about that?
Some 8-man action.
Some good 8-man action. We don't get a lot of that down here in the Treasure Valley.
I miss it a little bit.
Right, I loved it, man. It's been a while.
I love a high-scoring, low-defensive game.
It's been a while since I worked up there in Lewiston, but that White Pine League was awfully fun to cover, 8-man football. I was kidding. You know Kendrick very well. The Tigers. If you want to talk about like the best team in the state for their classification, Kendrick is very, very good at playing football.
Yeah. You know, their head coach, Zane Hobart, the son of legendary Vandals wide receiver Kenny Hobart. Yeah. So pretty fun local connection there.
Yeah, and I'm going to date myself because I actually covered Zane when he was a high school player at Lewiston High.
Really? Yeah, you are old.
I deserve that.
All right.
I deserve that. Hey, like I said, this might be our final Friday night football of the season. If it is, we have had a blast. We're going to see how many games we get to cover locally, and if it's enough to fill the slate, then we'll absolutely do another one next week. At the very, very least, we will have highlights from the 5A, 4A, et cetera, state playoffs in the news at 10 next Friday. So we will absolutely still cover this. We just might condense our coverage a little bit depending on the amount of teams that are marching on. But I will encourage you to head on over to KTVB.com. Zach Armstrong is updating everything as we speak with the latest scores, the latest highlights. So that should be a place for you guys to track everything that's happening right now as the games grow in importance and the temperature continues to dip.
Yeah, absolutely. We should have some of the games that were out of our region for Sunday Sports Extra as well, I believe.
Yeah, we're working on those Middleton, Lewiston highlights. There's also the game up in Sandpoint. We're trying to get those for you too, so hopefully we can turn those around, get you some local highlights. I believe it was Sandpoint and Skyview. Skyview, one of our local teams. So hopefully we will get you those highlights coming up on Sunday Sports Extra. We're kind of at the mercy of a couple other stations, but we're doing our best to bring you whatever we can and celebrate some of the athletes that have been fighting so hard on the gridiron throughout the last couple of months. But it has been a fun journey. We appreciate our Friday night football crew. Ray Martinez punching the buttons for us, making this thing look smooth and awesome. We have an awesome crew of photogs. John Mark was out doing it tonight. Logan Shank, he's been a part of almost every show so far this season, but it's been a fun ride so far.
Oh, absolutely. Don't want it to end.
Don't want it to end. So we're probably going to try to force feed you another show next week just in case. But it has been fun. Check out highlights, updated scores, and everything at KTVB.com. Also, we will have highlights on our KTVB YouTube page. It's been a fun season. Hopefully we see you again next week. And just a reminder, the Bronco Roundup Game Day Show, why not? Celebrating Boise State football. Live on the Blue from 4 to 5 tomorrow. Brady and I will see you then. Bundle up, everybody. Stay warm and enjoy the rest of your Friday evening.